Hey everybody, well I don't know about you, but I suspect if you're like me, you are very ready to forget this year and just go hunting. So I cannot wait for a nice cool morning, get up in a tree and shoot something. So I decided to do a little video just to show you some of the gear I'm going to be using this year. Alright, so let's start off with, I just reviewed a Hawk Cruiser tree stand a couple weeks ago. And I've got to tell you, this generic Game Winner made in China, it's a Game Winner 2.0. I actually like this better than the Hawk Cruiser. It's a $50 stand. I got it at Academy Sports. It was almost completely put together, one nice thing. But I like the seat a lot. The Cruiser was a pain in the butt to put together, but it's a pretty nice stand. But what I realized, I just put a set up with that stand a week ago. And what I realized about the seat, it's got a little back on it. And when you fold it up, that back slides up the tree. I didn't even know it did that. Not real keen on that. It's kind of hard when you're standing in the Cruiser to just easily fold that seat up. But this is a $50 stand. It's pretty well constructed. It's got two ratchet straps that go around it. Well, one of them's a ratchet strap, and the other one's just like a cam buckle. But this is a nice $50 stand, so check out a Game Winner 2.0. Let's look at a couple of other stands I got and some of the equipment that I'm going to use. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a few things I've got in here. Pole rope, obviously. Now, that's one thing that I don't like to do. Some guys leave their pole rope just in the tree all the time. I like to take mine in and out every time because to me that's just a human scent wick. Can, obviously. And I'll do a video, more about rut stuff and calls and decoys later. But always got a can and a grunt with me. This is a nice pack. I like these little hand warmer pouches because instead of wearing gloves, you just keep your hands in there with your release on or tab or whatever you're using. You keep some hand warmers in there. That's the only way to go. The heck with gloves. Now this is my really nice Lone Wolf Assault 2. Now this is a stand that I will take in and out with me every time. If I'm hunting public and I have to use a hang-on, it'll be this one. The Cruiser or like that Game Winner, those will be hang-ons that I just leave up all year on private. Now this is something I had an idea about this year. I like to put game cams, in the trees under where I'm hunting, sort of aimed at where I think the deer may show up. But I got this handy little bracket. It's made by Hawk. It's got a quick connect. And I thought, hey, I want to set this up where it's above my head, tilted down, and it'll automatically come on if I get a shot at something. So that's kind of a new idea that I'm going to try this year. Oh, but here's my muddy camera arm. Now one thing about this, I'm only going to use this when I'm in a hang-on because I made a little bracket for my climber. And I usually hunt out of a climber because they're so much more comfortable. This actual arm is not very heavy, but this ratchet strap that straps it to the tree is pretty heavy. So I'm going to blow a couple of holes in here with the drill press. And I'm probably going to put a smaller ratchet on there because this little setup is pretty heavy. So let me show you the bracket I made for the climber. Okay, so this is just a little aluminum block that I made, and I put a nylon bushing in here so I can just drop the muddy camera arm right in there. And I've got a lot more reach now. That's one bad thing about the length of this. The length of this muddy arm, when you've got it on the bracket on the tree, you're not going to be able to get it all the way around you unless you make another one of these for an extension. But I made that to go right on my climber rail. And I'm pretty sure somebody already manufactures a bracket like this. I could swear I saw it on the internet. So if you can find that, that would be really cool for you guys. And I tell you what, this is not a super expensive camera arm, and it comes with this really very smooth camera head. I think this arm was only $70. There are some other ones on the market that are a lot more expensive, but this camera head is probably worth $70 just by itself. Very smooth. So let me show you one other thing. Now this is something that I do later in the year during the rut. I walk to my stands with as few clothes on as possible because I don't want to get all sweated up. But these adhesive hand warmers, and you know, a lot of you probably already know this or have already done this, but some guys may not have thought of it. When you get to your stand, get your clothes off your backpack, and I'm going to take my second layer shirt, lay it here on my climber, open up one of these adhesive ones. They're adhesive. Shake it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and waste this one for the purpose of this video. And I put 2 of these right in the center of my back. Now I'm not going to waste another one, but you get the idea. And then put another one about right here. And do this with a button-up shirt, because if you do this with some kind of pullover shirt, they're probably going to fall off. But put that shirt on, your second layer. I wouldn't put it on your first layer. Put a couple of those in the back of your shirt. I put one on each thigh, and I guarantee you, you can wear one less layer of clothing, and you're going to stay really warm. Okay, another thing I want to show you. Wicked tree saw. These are really nice saws. They actually have a blade that's made for cutting wood. Some of these other companies that I'm not going to mention have changed their blades where they're not worth a flip. Okay, another thing I want to show you guys, and you may have already heard of these, but I had not heard of these till last year. These are climber stabilizer straps. And one neat thing about these, well, first, they're only about $15 to $17. But one neat thing, the rope that generally goes from your platform up to your seat, you can get rid of that rope. So you can have both pieces of your climber totally separate when you're trying to get it in the tree when you're working on it. But the really nice thing about these straps, you pull these straps tight, and you know, climbers, the seat part are kind of notorious about being a little bit janky. You know, they can kind of move on you. But look at that. That's tight as a tick. That's almost like a permanent or, you know, a hang-on. That's not going anywhere. So, and I don't even have this stand up at the correct angles. I've just got it kind of halfway up here just to kind of show you guys. But these stabilizer straps, great investment. I think they're $17. And they will make your climber feel very, very tight. Okay, so this is what I mean about the trail cam. Like I said, this little bracket is made by Hawk. Now you'll have to make sure that whatever trail cam you're using, let me get this bow out of the way. You'll have to make sure whatever trail cam you're using has a threaded hole in it. But I'm going to reach up here as high as I possibly can. It's got a quick release on it. Let's go ahead and turn this camera on. Boom. So you know, as I'm sitting here waiting on a deer, trying to be silent, and sitting still, that camera's not going to trip. But once I stand up, once I see something, that camera is going to trip. And, you know, it's either going to see me stand up, see me move, see me draw. And so my idea is that that will be a really nice, easy way to get at least one shot of the kill, or of me taking the shot, without having to do anything at all. Just let the trail camera do it. Now, since you're looking at this bow, I'll go ahead and tell you about that. This is a Bowtech Insanity. This has been an awesome bow. I got this in 2012. I've shot some really nice animals with it, and I love this bow, and it's still one of the fastest bows that you can buy. I mean, they don't produce it anymore. But after 8 years, I decided to go with Matthews. I shot a Matthews in the mid-90s, and they're great bows. I've got a video that's going to come out in a few weeks about why I switched from the Insanity to Matthews. I got a Matthews Traverse, and I think I'm going to like it a lot. We'll see. So I've switched the bow out this year. So let's look at the Traverse, and I'll show you my bow and my arrow setup that I'm going to use this year. So this is the bow that I've switched to this year. You know, a new bow is really expensive. That's why I have waited 8 years to get one. But this is a Matthews Traverse. It's got a nice 6 5/8 brace height. It's 33 ATA. It's got really good reviews, and I think it's going to be a great bow. I like the bridged riser. The bow, you can't hardly even tell when you shoot it. Obviously using my IQ sight. I love those IQ sights for hunting. They'll show you if you're putting any kind of torque in the bow. So I made the switch from Bowtech to Matthews. You know, Bowtechs are great. I love them. Very fast. You know, this Insanity, super fast bow, but not a real forgiving bow, and not a real smooth draw cycle. You know, the older I get, I'm not really too worried about losing 15 or 20 feet per second. So, a release I'm going to use this year, I usually have a Scott release. Well, it turns out Scott, I guess, sold their company. I didn't know this. Well, they decided they wanted to get back into the release making business, and their company is now called B3. So this is a B3 release by the guys that used to own Scott release. So the arrow broadhead combination I'm going to use this year, which I usually always use gold tip. And I don't want to spend $150, $200 on a dozen arrows. I'm just not going to. I mean, I just buy the shafts and fletch them, but you know, I'm using the gold tip Hunter 340s. These are not horribly expensive, about $95 a dozen for the shaft. Put bonding blazer vanes on them. Got some nocturnal nocks and slick trick magnums. These are great broadheads. They fly great. They penetrate great. So that is my arrow broadhead combination this year. So there you go. I just wanted to show you some of the gear that I was going to be using this fall. And also, like I said, I think I am just so ready to go hunting. 2020 has totally sucked so far. So hopefully the fall of 2020 is going to make up for it. And I truly hope you guys shoot the biggest buck of your life this year. Stay safe. God bless the United States of America. And we'll see you next time on Dead X Bow Hunting.